So talking about the shapes and geometric shapes, sometimes when I'm falling asleep and I'm not quite asleep, sorry, I just lost track. Let me backtrack. When I wake up, sometimes I will see the shapes and just...
Yes. You're in the in-between state. You're not fully reconnecting to the idea of physical reality. You're still connecting to spirit, where you may have been having an astral experience or an encounter with other beings or some such similar experience. So you're still integrating back into the focal point you call physical reality to continue on your physical path, which you agreed to do.
Okay.
But you're in that in-between state. The in-between state, what we are saying about the ending of one cycle and the beginning of another, is that you are broadening that limbo in between the two, so that's becoming more of your experience of reality too, is the in-between state.
Okay, I like that. And then on the other end, when I'm falling asleep and not quite there yet, sometimes it feels like I'm dreaming and I have like 100 stories and flashbacks, but nothing that makes sense. Am I tapping into other realities?
Well, yes, but again, some of the other realities you're tapping into may not translate completely to your physical mind, and that's why it won't make sense. There are only so many symbols that your physical mind can use to represent an experience that is beyond physical reality. So sometimes you will have a dream that will actually, in some ways, be a memory of an experience you may have had in the astral realm or some other dimension, but there's only so many symbols it can use to represent that, and therefore it may seem nonsensical. So you have to look through the symbols and understand what the symbols actually may represent. For example, many people who do have encounters with ETs and are taken aboard ships in astral form may wake up dreaming that they got on some kind of a bus and went for a trip, but that strangely enough, the bus is flying through the air. That may be representative, not always, but may be representative of the fact that you're actually on a ship, but for some reason it was so different, so quote-unquote alien to your physical mind, it could only make sense out of it being some kind of a conveyance that a lot of people get on and that travels from place to place, and for some reason you made an association with a bus.
Okay.
So it's symbolic of what happened, but not literal. However, again, as you broaden your bandwidth and are more open to the idea of bringing in the astral into the physical and blending the two, then that's when you start realizing, oh, I'm on a ship, and it's not a bus.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Does that help you?
Yes. I have another question, if that's okay. So everyone has light in their energy field. And
everyone is light.
Is light. Okay. So, okay. Does the light dim when you are going through something and maybe in a little bit more of a lower frequency state to be working through stuff? Does the light dim, or does it always stay?
Well, at the core, it's always the same.
Okay.
But because you are experiencing the idea of physical reality, which is the idea of compartmentalization and different levels and different shells and so on and so forth, you can experience the idea of things acting as filters to dim the light, but that doesn't mean the light at the core actually gets less. But as it goes through the filters, when you're perceiving the light from the outside, so to speak, it may be that not all the light is getting through.
Okay.
But that has nothing to do with what's going on in your core. That's always infinite and eternal.
Okay. Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you.
For me specifically, if you could give me one suggestion that would help with my evolution, what would it be?
Are you familiar with our formula?
Yes.
Are you following it as precisely as you possibly can?
Not as precisely, no.
Thank you for your honesty. Because if you were, you probably wouldn't have asked that question.
Okay.
So, do you believe that you can understand the formula more clearly so that you can follow it more precisely, and that that will be the answer to your question?
Yes, I will try.
I beg your pardon?
Yes, I will follow the formula
Your light
more
dimmed
precisely.
a little there. Do your best.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
Okay.
But I guarantee the instruction manual will serve you. Because again, what happens when you're following your passion? You raise your frequency. What happens when you raise your frequency? You become a better receiver of higher frequency information. Please, all of you, do remember, you are always getting guidance. You are always having help. You don't have to ask for more help than you're already getting. You just have to pay attention to the help you're already receiving more clearly. That's all. So, raise your frequency by acting on your passion. Do it according to the way we have laid out the formula, because that's a description of how you're creating your reality experience already. Just do it consciously, and you will see that everything is connected. Synchronicity will come up, and you will be guided through life very smoothly, very effortlessly. You will have challenges, but those are fun, aren't they? Approach every single challenge with curiosity. Why is this happening, I wonder? What can this teach me, I wonder? Where will this take me, I wonder? I always know it will always be to a positive place. Why? Because I am approaching it with positive curiosity and not defining it as, oh no, now what? Challenges help you grow. That's why you laid them out on your life path. So approach them with curiosity, and you will get through them in a fun, creative, joyful, and constructive way. And you will learn the lessons you need to learn that will allow your soul to grow and accelerate. And you will be having fun in life. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I love you.
And to you, good day.
And Sedona. Bashar,
Yes.
is physical reality the prequel to how God becomes God in the first place?
God is God. That which is. As it says in some of your scriptures, I am that I am. It is. It is existence itself. There is nothing before it. It is what it is. Time is within existence. Existence is not subject to time. So there is no how did it come about in the first place. That concept is within existence. Existence is not subject to the idea of beginnings and endings. Does that make sense?
Beautiful.
All right.
So would you say Earth is more a school for souls?
Yes.
Or perhaps a playground for gods?
Same thing. We understand that in your vernacular, in general, I don't mean this in a negative way, Earth is a quote-unquote tough school. Because it's a master graduating class. It's not a kindergarten. You are getting your PhDs as souls. You're getting your master's degrees. So the challenges are going to be equivalent to the level of the power of your souls as they are now. So enjoy it.
Beautiful. Now, let's
Yes.
say ETs come 5 years from now. They give us free energy. They give us money. We're abundant, we have everything.
Within 5 years.
Let's within 5 years, and they give us everything we want.
No,
we need.
no. We will not give you everything you want. We will give you what you need.
Because if I'm in a campfire singing Kumbaya 24/7, I'm going to be pretty upset.
That's not what's going to happen.
And I like the idea of the movie, and I hate to say this, I'm sorry, but like the movie Star Wars. Like,
Yes.
I know there's positive ET races, but I hope there's evil ET races, and we have to like link up with the positive ET races and come together and bring our pieces of the puzzle together so that we can fight against the negative ET races.
No.
Come on.
It's more, not that there are not negative entities out in the cosmos, but it's more like Star Trek.
Now,
Yes, it is now.
So if there are ETs, what's the difference between the idea of ETs, angels, and demons?
There are no demons. Angels are beings that have never been physical. They are, in a sense, the first reflection or split off from all that is. It is a level of consciousness of all that is that individuates but has never experienced physical reality, but have the broad perspective to guide beings from many different dimensions in certain ways. And there are different kinds of levels to the angelic realm, vibrationally speaking. Demons don't really exist in the way that you think they do. There are, of course, entities that are oriented in negative ways, and if you want to say they may go about doing things in quote-unquote demonic ways, that's more accurate than saying that there are actually demons. A demon is simply someone who's not understood, who may be in pain and may be in fear. It is simply someone acting in a demonic way without the idea of the experience of love in their lives. So if you want to call that a demon, go ahead, but that's just a label that says it is someone that is out of touch with the idea of the unconditional love of existence. So, spirits in that sense, again, can be many different things. You are spirits. So, ETs are beings that are physicalized in different civilizations on different planets. Yes?
Beautiful. Now, I think about, we go back to the Bible. I believe this is like one of the most genius simulations. I think one of the, our blessings, sometimes our nightmares, they become our blessings.
Yes.
Is that what you mean by we could change our past? Like as we change as individuals, then we look in our past and say, oh, wow, that meaningless experience is meaningful.
That's one way of looking at it, but we're also talking about the fact that you actually literally change your past. Let me put it to you this way. If you have defined yourself as a completely different person than you used to be in the present, the idea is that since you are creating linear reality, the idea of past, present, and future as a projection of your consciousness, it's an illusion because everything is actually in the present, everything is now. But if you change your definition of who you are in the now, then from the linear reality perspective, the question is, well, how did you get that way? If you're completely different than who used to be there, how did you get that way? Because from linear reality, there has to be a logical progression that made you this different person. So by changing yourself in the present, it actually sends a ripple backwards, so to speak, euphemistically speaking, into the idea of rearranging the past so that it makes sense going forward as to how you became this different person. So you're actually changing the past when you change the present. Does that make sense?
That makes too much sense.
All right. But you will always keep creating what serves you as a lesson. So even if you have a new past, you can still have components in it that are similar to what was there before if they still serve you. But it's a new past anyway. It's a new arrangement of things. And the fact that you're now realizing that you can learn a lesson from what appears to be an incident in your past means that you actually have changed the past to make that incident appear to be something that is now relevant for your present.
Beautiful. Now, one more question. I never really heard anybody ask you this question, but how do you feel about like numerology?
Permission slips. You understand our concept of permission slips?
Absolutely.
That's how I feel about it. Any technique, any tool, any discipline, any object that you believe will help you open up and become more of yourself, to give yourself permission to be more of who you are, is a tool that we call a permission slip. You are the ultimate permission slip, of course, because you're the one making the change. But if you have a belief system that says, it will be easier for me to do this if I use this technique because I relate to it for a reason, this is my creative way of interpreting this language that means this to me and gives me the reflection I need to move forward, well, that's all well and good. That's fine. It's a very creative way to do things. But these things don't control you. They reflect you. Does that help?
That helps. And I appreciate you. I love you. And I love you all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.